Blind is hosted by overly emotional dudes who overthink and overanalyze everything. Nothing the hosts say should be taken as medical advice or opinion. They're not professionals, and they're about to make that very clear. So just kick back and hang with them, because you've earned it. Now cue that music.
Dude, one of the greatest things I've ever seen, and I feel bad because I'm forgetting the. Well, I guess I shouldn't feel bad because it's kind of a funny story for them. But we were on a band on tour. We were on tour with a band from Orlando, and we were playing. I think Orlando, and Florida, and we were playing this massive venue. Mm-hmm. This massive venue, and they were like telling us like, "Oh, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be nuts." Last time we played it all nuts. So we're like, "Dude, we're all excited." And it's this huge, awesome venue. We get there, and there's like 20 people paid.
Oh, sick.
It's like it was one of the lowest. It was a bummer, but but they still played their like intro music. I think they had smoke. They still did
Like walkout.
They did it. Yeah,
I mean,
they did the walkout and everything, and Rick walked out with them.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
And Rick, like they'll go out and the thing. Rick goes out with them doing like the. It's so fucking funny.
Mike, for the love of God, please tell me that's on video, please.
Dude.
Please.
If it is, they own it, and I think I got it.
Man,
It's got to be somewhere.
it has to
Dude,
be.
it was that was such a random night. One of the dudes from like Backstreet Boys was there.
Which one?
Because they're
Land. Nope.
I think it was the one
That's
with
NSYNC.
the one with the crazy hair. The
JC.
I think it was JC.
Oh, he's in NSYNC too.
Damn it, Kevin.
Crazy hair. The long hair? The dad one?
Is it Nick Lachey? No, he's not.
98
That's
years.
it. Damn it. No, it's Kevin.
If I
Do
saw
I
him,
not know anybody?
Kevin's the dad one, right?
he
With
had,
the
like,
long
beads
hair.
in his hair? Maybe I'm imagining him.
No,
Beats.
I think I'm gonna say Kevin. I feel like it's Kevin. It's Kevin.
There's always one weird looking guy in the boy band.
It's
Yeah.
Kevin. Well, it's gonna be Kevin.
I remember when he used to be Donnie Wahlberg. It's like, sir, are you a little old for this boy, man?
Sir.
It's Kevin.
Maybe it was NSYNC.
Oh, okay. Well,
Chris Kirkpatrick was the weird guy in NSYNC.
I think it's Christopher Patrick.
okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
He looks like he'd live in Florida.
Yeah.
Florida's fun.
They plucked him out of a choir in Orlando to be in NSYNC.
Hey, you're gonna be in a boy band.
Yeah, it was that guy.
Nice. Yeah, dude.
Why was he
a weird
there?
fucking
Did you
night.
sing to him?
Because they knew him or something. I don't know. They grew up with him, I think, or something.
What band was this?
Picture the whole set. Mike's
A
just
day to
singing-
remember.
Mike's just singing like this. He's like,
I bet you.
Mike just keeps looking back. Hey.
No, I don't even. I can't. I think the most.
Yeah.
They didn't even like get us like introduce us. I think the most we got to all say is like hi passively. Like
Hey,
Yo, dude, he was one of the 20 people in the crowd. It's one of their uncles.
my dumb ass would have been like, I want.
you think? Oh, Mike.
Hey, tell me why.
Tell me why.
Tell me.
Should we start this?
We might as well. Let's go.
Yes.
Mike, you do the intro this week. You do the intro this week, Mike.
All right.
Introduce your friends.
Okay. Welcome everybody to episode 9 of the Walking Blind podcast. We have a very special episode today, and yeah, I guess should I start with a guess because everyone knows who Mike is.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Mike.
Yeah. Everybody knows
And
me by now.
Yeah.
Or everybody just knows Mike in general and it applies to both of us.
Yeah. But our guest today, we have our buddy Ty.
Hello.
And our buddy Daniel. And for anyone who doesn't know, I've known these guys forever, but we play in the band Burner State together, which has been fun.
Yes.
This feels like one of those old MTV Rocks promos, like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm here with the boys. Give a big round of applause for A Burner State. Did I say the name wrong?
The Burners.
A Burning State, you know?
So, yeah.
So we've been putting this episode off. We've been kind of waiting to talk about Spiderman until you guys were here, because we talked about this like 4
before the movie even came out, and now we're like
Locked.
way past spoiler territory, so it doesn't matter what we say at this point.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I like. Actually, someone put a thing on Twitter, and they said, "How long should you wait to spoil something?" And so
One week.
Well, I think 1 week for TV.
Okay, that's fair.
For movies, I think after 2 weeks,
Yeah, 2 weeks
everybody
is
that's
good.
really wanted to see it after 2 weeks should have seen it by then.
Yeah,
But I think after a month, it's completely fair game.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
Completely fair game.
I told everybody at work after the second week that they only had. I was counting down every day in the morning startup meeting, saying like, "You have this much time to watch this before I ruin everything for you."
Right.
And I had people begging me like, "Dude, I'm not gonna go till like Wednesday." I'm like, "Shit, man." I don't know.
you better call off a couple days.
Be scarce.
Like I'm getting shirts made.
So all that to say, spoiler if you haven't seen Spider-Man: No Way Home.
I think
We're
we
going
have
to spoil it.
Yeah.
I think we have to give history on you two's Spider-Man viewing experiences over the years.
Yeah.
Because you guys have to talk about how many of these movies you've seen together.
Yeah.
The
Well, to be fair,
joys and tribulations.
we were around, shocker, to watch the first ones that came out with Tobey Maguire.
Yes.
Now
Yes.
we talked about those ones incessantly, and then we agreed to go see the third one together. And that was the last time Ty and I talked for almost 20 years until we got into a band together.
There's so much disappointment. It's
Oh,
like, no, I'm
Man.
done.
You guys can't, it's like I can't face him.
Yeah, it was.
What if you liked it?
It was bad. It was.
It hurt.
There was no part of you that was like, man, look at this suit.
We were like, okay, it's kind of cool. It's all right. And then we're like, the kid from that 70s show? A bold choice.
Yeah. Okay, Topher Grace, cool. No
Topher
big
Grace
deal.
looks way cooler in this movie, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. it was-
And then there was dancing.
there was dancing for too long.
Which, for what it's worth, has become awesome now.
It's
years and years
hilarious.
later.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Agreed.
we can like. I still don't even enjoy it. Like I seriously, I watch all the memes. The only time I enjoyed it was Into the Spider-Verse when they brought it back. He's
That-
like, hey, when
oh,
this
yeah.
happened,
That was
I
funny.
laughed. I had a belly laugh. I was like, okay, good, dude. Dress the elephants in the room. It ruined the whole thing. And then I still watch the memes where he's doing that, even when they do like the Bully Maguire videos. I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh no,
Those
that
are
hurts.
hilarious. Billy Maguire
yeah.
is absolutely hilarious. I love
But
it.
yeah, I do remember vividly Ty and I just said this before we started recording that before they even did like post-credit scenes, Ty and I were the last two people in that theater, just with our heads down, just like, yes.
Just wouldn't even look at each other. Like, so I'll call you tomorrow. Yeah,
So bad.
20 years later.
Gosh.
It's like you guys witnessed a murder.
Yeah. It was, no. Well, I mean, kind of. Yeah, it was bad, but yeah. No.
We
Way
moved
Home.
on. We're
Yeah.
better for it.
Have you guys,
Yes,
have you guys
agreed.
seen Tobey Maguire talk about that?
Yes.
It's awesome.
The interview where they're like, wait, whose idea was it? Where they're going back and forth talking about his iconic dance moves and dance scenes.
Yeah, I don't think he had a problem with that 16 million he made.
Yeah. I'm sure he was.
Here's funny about it. He's like, the director wanted me to be cool, and I think he said it was like too cool or something.
At least he can laugh about it now, though.
Yeah.
At least he can go back and be like, yeah, I guess that wasn't the greatest.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Oh, before we move on, I just want to share something really, really quick, really funny that Daniel said today. Because Daniel's like, man, I don't have any like Spider-Man merch. I don't look like I'm not getting. I
Oh.
feel like I'm not like a fan. I'm like, I have a fucking tattoo, dude.
There
It's
you
a
go.
Spider-Man
Yeah,
tattoo.
that counts.
Like,
Yeah, you don't really.
Yeah.
like
That counts.
Yeah.
yeah,
But-
you're fine.
Yeah, I just feel like it could be more, always more.
yeah, agreed.
I don't fit into any of my Wolverine t-shirts. So there's that.
Guess
when
I
I-
should have brought the costume.
When I thought I'd be a medium forever.
Hey man,
Even that one I gave you,
I need to run a little bit
Oh.
more for the show. I should.
it's
be
a
able
little
to wear it,
slim.
but
It's a
and
little
it's white,
snug.
and it's white.
And it's white.
And it's really cool, but
It's fair.
I
Wolverine
need to-
evolved too, buddy.
There you go.
That's all it is.
oh, dude.
I have a Wolverine shirt that I still haven't worn yet because also it's a little slim, but it has the Wolverine picture on the front and it says Wolverine is just two Batmans kissing, and it has the image.
Oh, and you can't. Yeah, now
Yeah.
that you
And
said
now
that,
you can't not see it.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I don't know how I feel about that one, but
You just ruined two iconic characters.
did we ruin them or did we elevate them?
We.
It's 2022, guys.
yeah.
Think about your answer.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, Bruce Wayne's already obsessed with himself.
your homophobia is showing.
Who else has all that money and they're like, you could use that to heal the city? He's like, no, the suit's the only way.
No.
Yeah, I need this.
Have you seen my car?
pumped for
Dude.
that. That's gonna be fun. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wait, you're gonna be there.
Yes.
I'll be there.
Yes. That's
Sick.
going to be.
Yeah, we don't have to go into that, but
We don't have to talk about it, but
Yeah.
yeah, you'll be there.
Yeah, and that'll.
Yeah.
We'll have a good. We'll have a good time. That'll be fun.
So a little bit of backstory. I know we talked about this on the podcast, but the three of us were in the theater Thursday night, the preview night,
Yes.
to watch No Way Home.
Yes.
Mike was not.
Fortunately.
He had to
doesn't work.
help save lives. So we'll give him
Real
that.
life superhero, actually.
real life superhero.
So that's pretty cool.
But so, and since then, okay, and I know this is, I know, I'm the only one that's only seen this once since
Oh. Whoops.
since the movie.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen it?
It's not about who's winning.
I think Daniel's definitely.
I've only
winning.
seen it twice, and I'm not happy with that.
Oh.
Ty?
I meant to see it like twice.
That's crazy. So I'm at 5.
Yeah,
There you go. Okay, Mike.
I am also at 5.
Okay. All right. Okay.
dude.
So that half of the table is going to be a little more well versed in this movie. than,
I mean,
you know.
Dude, knowing that you guys were there opening night, like together. He rented a freaking
yes, that was.
theater. Like he rented it.
Yeah, it was a good time.
And so the best I could do was like, oh fuck, because I work 1 till 11 is usually my shift, and I work Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I was like, Sunday I'll be able to watch it. I can wait till Sunday.
Ooh.
Dude, Thursday night, I was already seeing shit on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. I was seeing it everywhere.
I wanted
And
to text
then-
you so bad.
Yeah.
Well, you did text me. You're like, dude,
That's all I said, dude.
I was like, just, dude. I was like, ah. So I got off work at 11 p.m. and I like frantically looked for like a 1 a.m., 2 a.m.,
Yeah.
3 a.m. showing anywhere. And the ones that I found, there was seats, but they're like in the front row. And I was like, dude, if I'm
Yeah.
gonna
That's
do this,
not though.
no.
Yeah, but you get that crank in your neck, like. Yeah.
So then somehow I found a seat for Friday morning at 9 a.m. And I was like, oh, I can do this before work.
Yeah.
So I did. And I went alone. It was awesome.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but you were high fiving the dude next to you, so
Yeah,
you weren't
yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Yeah.
that
I
dude.
think the Marvel community
We both-
does not let anybody be
Yeah.
alone. So.
I think it was funny thinking about it now. I think he went by himself too.
Oh, there you
So
go.
you guys were meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like
Did
we
you
high
guys share a soda?
we high five like 3
Did
times.
you put 2 straws in one soda?
No, I would have though.
Your mama birding Skittles too.
Oh no.
Not dude. That's my brother and I. We both have jobs and we still do. we still do that.
One of my favorite stories about your brother is that he used to tell me when he was younger, he would save a cup from each restaurant that he would go to.
Oh.
And he would keep the cups on deck. So whenever he would go and eat, he would just go through his stack of cups. Okay, we're going to Taco Bell. Oh, here's the Taco Bell cup. And bring the Taco Bell cup with him, buy his food, and never have to pay for a drink again. He's like, the only time would be like when the cardboard would wear out.
Yeah.
Or they would change the style of cups.
I was gonna say, I'm like, how does that work? Throwback cup.
Kept them in his locker.
Hey, it's a man of the Lord right there.
Well,
He's all dipping into McDonald's with a cup from the 80s.
Dude, one of my greatest joys on tour was watching Martin get called out by like Taco Bell or whatever employees when they'd see him, like he asked for the water cup, and then he'd get like a Coke.
Or Sprite.
you're nuts.
You got to at least go for a clear soda.
I don't think he did. And, yeah, so it was just funny because they'd be like, "Sir, sir," and he'd be like,
not water.
Oh shoot, I'm so sorry. And we're just like,
My bad.
Yeah, sir. This guy, this fucking guy.
Oh my goodness.
There's something wrong with your water, man.
Yeah.
Love it.
So let's where do you want to start, Mike?
I mean, we go into it. Actually, you know what? Quick mental health check. This is kind of part of the show.
Okay.
And you guys are actually kind of our guinea pigs, I think, for musicians.
Okay.
Oh.
Because eventually,
Ooh, okay.
I'd like to start hitting up guys in bands on like. We can go mobile with this thing, so I want to start going to
Yes.
shows and like talking to guys who do music,
Okay.
seeing where they're at. So
Guys and gals.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So, would you guys do you want to get one of them start? Mike, do you want to start?
Mental health check. I'm in a weird place right now, man. There's a lot of weird shit going on. A lot of big changes. So we'll have to possible changes. We'll have to see how that goes. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Alleged change.
Alleged changes.
Oh.
Yeah, well, we could discuss that off camera. Oh, I am not doing okay.
What do you? Sorry. Damn it.
Ooh.
Mike, you want to try that again?
Watch. What are you doing to get past that?
Well, I've kind of had to re-solidify my diet, slowed the drinking down,
Okay.
slowed down a lot of the other stuff. So yeah, we'll see how it all pans out.
Okay.
Exactly. Wow. What's going on?
All right.
Yeah,
So
Daniel.
my mental health check. Not doing too bad. Laura's still got a couple medical issues that she's working through. We're getting a bunch of good news back, so that's positive.
Yeah, man.
Same thing, like Mike says, I gotta kind of curtail the drinking when I've had like back to back 3+ day weekends from work.
Oh,
So I'm like by the third and fourth day, I'm like, I got nothing to
I
do.
mean,
So it's like, I'm gonna wake up and have some Cheerios and some 805 or something. And yeah.
when you start pouring the 805 into the Cheerios,
Cheerios,
is when you know it's a problem.
Yeah, I mean it's not together. It's like usually like an hour apart.
Okay,
But
okay.
No, like there's definitely like the days where it gets to like the fourth day when it's like nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do. When I catch up on everything, I'm like, all right, well I'm gonna
Yeah.
have a couple of these, and then I go through a couple of them. I'm like, hey babe, by the way, we're starting early.
Yeah.
So
Hey, babe,
No,
guess what?
that's the one thing I need to work back on. And also, like I told you, I was at out for Carson's birthday the other night, and it was the first time I had cigarettes since like the beginning of last month, and it was like it wrecked me. I realized that quitting was a great choice. And,
Yeah.
I'm at practice. I was losing my voice like crazy today. So
There, There's nothing worse than, especially like after you quit, the morning after you've smoked, and you just feel it in your whole body, and like you're just
yeah, that's what I was explaining to them earlier. I felt like those kids in those cartoons, and even like the Sandlot when they had all the tobacco and they're just like sick to their stomach.
Yeah.
And, like
Yeah.
that's what I felt like when I woke up on Saturday. I was like, oh man, what did I do? I
Yep.
feel like I made a poor decision. It was that. It wasn't the Taco Bell. That was worth it. But
Taco Bell's always a solid choice.
I mean, when you
Now the aftermath of Taco Bell, not
Yeah,
always
yeah,
the
I was-
most solid,
yeah.
but you know.
That's never fun.
And then also, and so then, what are some things, or what's like, is there an activity or something that you do to kind of like either help you decompress, or if you like you've had like you gotten bad news, or you had a rough day at work, like what's something that you kind of turn to that's,
For me, a lot of it is music driven. That was always my outlet whenever when I was working as a building manager for the other company, and we're doing safety on like the West Coast. Whenever I was home, it's like, go play a show, go play an open mic night, go do something. That was my way of basically just. It was literally me just yelling at people on stage for an extended period of time, and people cheered me on. So I was like, okay, cool, this is fun.
Yeah.
So like writing music has always been a big one for me. Skating when I can, which I don't get an opportunity to. The beach is the biggest one. As you can see, wearing my surf shirt, and I got Vans custom slip-ons with the beach scene on them.
he does.
It's definitely a place where you can go and just realize like, yeah, nothing else is important. Like I go with my wife and kids, and it's fun. It's the best thing. I sit down and get to decompress with them, have them a blast, and then I gotta on the way home realize like, oh, I gotta do it all again tomorrow. But it's not bad. Yeah, the beach, music, and then that's pretty much it. I don't get a chance to play video games anymore. My kids take the PlayStation from me, so.
Kids to go around that one.
Awesome. Good. Ty.
Let's see. I'm doing better. See, I think mentally I'm doing better. Went through a couple things over the holiday, but definitely doing better. Think the goal is every day to try to be better try to be a little bit better than the day before. And then for me, as far as like stuff to do to help me get better, music. I mean that's number one. Music is everything. The gym helps for sure. And music and the gym kind of go together.
Yeah, who's Jim?
The gym is where you lift weight. Anyway, we'll get into that later. Different topic. I noticed that at the gym I actually listen to a lot of angrier music, and I'll just kind of let that be that. But yeah, so and that also gives me an opportunity to listen to a lot of the stuff that everybody suggests to me. So that's always good. But yeah, I think yeah, and then obviously spending time with my little one too. That she's really really calming. As crazy as it is to have an 11-year-old right now, in this day and age, she's actually really good at getting me to calm down. So yeah, I think yeah, just those family music and the gym is always good. So
Nice.
yeah.
Do any of you guys have like a calm down song or artist that you guys just?
Yes. One that for some reason, there's two of them, and it's ridiculous that I found them both last year. One was recommended to me by a friend. I made a beach playlist because it was something that just puts me in like a chill mode. The first song on it, and what's just funny is my Spotify best of for the year came through, and it's like one of my top genres was this genre called Dreamo, and I was like, what in the god?
What is
What is that?
I've never heard that.
I haven't heard of it either, but it's this.
Okay.
I guess it's like some kind of electronic, like indie pop stuff. But the first track I had is something by this band called Daywave, and the song's called Something Here, and it's just a really kind of chill, no kind of excessive craziness throughout the whole thing, just really mellow, but it's a really uplifting song, really cool song. And then there's one called Coastline by this Aussie duo called Hollow Coves. That's the one, because it's beach related, obviously, but that's the one that's like really just peaceful. It's just like, yeah, I'm going to the beach because it's peace of mind. It's my place to, be free.
Daniel sent the band a beach song he written, and it's really
Yeah,
awesome.
It's actually
Oh, yeah, thanks. I forgot I sent that to everybody.
yeah. Very very.
He's like, I did what?
No, I send them.
this one of those
so
drunk
much
days?
stuff. No, like I'm constantly sending them stuff. Like to the point, like when we started the band, Joe was like, "Okay, you need to stop."
It's like we have so many songs.
It wasn't. We never said stop. It was just like, hey, we should slow down, or like, hey.
Yeah, I think slow down, not stop, because you don't want to stop. You want to keep going.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Thank you. That
Calming.
piece sounds weird.
Trying to think of a calming song. I mean,
Or just a song that kind of like.
Enya, Imogen Heap.
Hey, she was big.
so okay, so I have a couple. So this is gonna sound weird, but like classical music actually really like kind of calms me down, and I do this when I'm in traffic. I drive a lot, so and then it also kind of helps me like write music too. I would say that, and then I think anything pre 2003, and that's just because it takes me back to that time period. So Blink, Newfound Glory, Zayo. Don't ask me about that. I mean, Poison the Wall was like maybe 04, 05. But anything from like that time period, like I said, just kind of, oh man, I remember what I was doing when I was listening to this or that. But yeah.
I remember that. I tried to go back and listen to a 2001 playlist because of my reunion.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized like how garbage rock and roll was. Like we had the top 100, like in the top 100 for that year for rock songs was like Nickelback and Creed, and Crazy Town with Butterfly, and then I think there was it was just like I don't think I think that's the tipping point when Earth is like, nah, you guys are done.
That's enough.
Mike?
To calm me down, I think lately, I think I've been listening to a lot of
Closing Time?
Oh my god! Wait, why am I spacing on his name? The guy sings "The End of the World" and
R.E.M.
End
of the world that we know.
I don't know why I'm spacing on him. I was listening to him like literally today.
JP Sachs.
Yes.
Oh.
I don't think I know that one.
You pulled that one.
Because I know his playlist now.
Oh, okay. All right. Got it.
Yeah. Him a lot. Like lately, or last couple months, I've been really into it. Something like a feel good music for me is. Have you guys heard of the Noisettes?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. They're fun.
Yeah.
I like them. But I think in the last 2 weeks though, this may like for anyone who doesn't know me would be like, oh, it's weird, but or maybe it doesn't sound weird, but I've been like getting really back into like punk rock and hardcore. I have a like a playlist that I've been like, because I'm normally if I do listen to anything, it's usually chill music, or I'm listening to like a podcast,
right,
or like a YouTube channel or something. It's not music usually, but like lately, like I don't know, I've just been using, especially leaving work, listen to a lot of punk.
Yeah.
A lot of punk and hardcore.
Yeah.
It's kind of
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah, leaving work, I gotta put on my chill music because I drive down the 91 freeway and it's like I'm gonna.
Oh yeah. You just wanna-
Michael.
I don't think I have any. Mostly it's just podcasts and stuff like. I listen to a lot of horror podcasts.
See,
Just because I don't know. I like the ones that are like fully produced where there's like if you have headphones and there's
Oh, like
sounds
stereoscopic,
yeah,
yeah.
and there's sounds around you stuff like that, so kind of helps with the
Yeah, send me a couple of those.
I don't like those at all. Don't send me those.
um,
You sent me the Wolverine one. That was
yeah,
sick.
it's similar to that, but there'll be like horror stories or like these crazy like
about
You know
Wolverine.
they're doing a Guardians one like that too, right?
Really?
Yeah.
The one you sent me was what do you remember what it was called?
They had like 2 seasons on that Wolverine one, I think.
Oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
yeah, you're good.
Yeah, it was like a cool. It was
Yeah,
like a
Mike,
cool
come on.
story. Actually, I haven't looked to see if there's any more seasons of that.
It's called Wolverine something. It was like some sort of like Stitcher or something like that did like an actual like fully produced podcast, The Long Night.
Yeah.
And it straight up has like there's like The Long Night and then The Lost Trail.
Trail.
And they're fully produced like mini movies but in podcast form.
Yeah.
So like there's like you hear Gambits in them.
It's like listening to a
Okay,
graphic novel.
so
I'm saying it to you and to you guys.
the Moon Knight trailer dropped I think today.
Tomorrow.
Oh, is it tomorrow?
It was
Tomorrow.
a teaser. It's dropping during the football game.
I thought it was supposed to drop today during the football game. Tomorrow?
Tomorrow, Monday.
Okay. Well, I'm excited for that. I don't even really like know like a ton about that, but I'm very excited. As soon as you said, I was like, That's coming.
So Moon Knight is kind of like Marvel's Batman, but more dark.
Openly psychotic.
Yeah, more openly crazy.
Personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's gonna be awesome.
And there's a lot of dialogue of like, if they stay true to the comic, there's a lot of dialogue between like Moon Knight and Deadpool where they're just like cussing each other out or like they're just talking shit to each other.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So yeah, we'll see. I like Oscar Isaac though.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun.
That character's a trip. We'll talk after the camera's off because I'm
Yeah.
gonna go to town on that one.
I'm really excited.
He's one of my other favorite characters. He's just so. You never know if he's just absolutely crazy or if there's actually like a god living inside of him.
Yeah, yeah. And but just based on the little teasers on who he's fighting, it's like was it Werewolf by Night or something like that? One of the other
One of
I
Marvel,
saw a leg or something like that.
one of
Is
the
that-
Marvel
a couple.
comics.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
he always fights like he fights the macabre, like a lot of the.
he fights Dracula
Yeah.
a lot.
Oh, this
in
is
the
gonna be
comics.
and that's gonna be
so
like he
good.
can tie into
So
the
good.
Midnight Suns with him and
Yeah.
Blade,
Yeah.
and Ghost Rider and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
sick.
Exciting.
I just hope it doesn't get pushed like every other movie.
No, this will be it's just a show. So
Don't you
Yeah.
put that evil on that time.
Well, I mean,
Don't you dare, Ty.
we're already
You don't say that.
because you were the one who told me about Morbius getting pushed, right? Like,
That's Sony. That's not.
I know, but I'm just but it's in within the Marvel fan. I'm just saying. It's fine. I'll get over it.
what if they're Darren reshoots bring in? No, okay. That's such a rabbit hole.
Oh,
But all right, let's get into the.
yeah.
Your mental health check.
Didn't I do mine?
No, you just did
You're
your
talking about music.
song.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You just did your I Feel Good song.
my mental health check. So I'm. I've been very stressed. This week was very stressful. The end of my week was very stressful. But my situation will be changing soon.
Big alleged life changes.
Yeah, big alleged life changes coming soon for me.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking. I know I'm gonna feel better once like things change, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But even with those changes and like things, some things in my life becoming less stressful, I'm gonna be taking on more stress, which is, yeah, I know it's like super cryptic.
It's fair.
Should I talk? I don't know if I should go into detail about it, but
Not yet.
Are you
Yeah,
adopting,
not
oh
yet,
wait,
not
yeah,
yet, not yet.
oh, wait.
are you adopting a bunch of babies?
Well,
Well,
9 babies.
It's like
Like that girl in Bridesmaids. She's like, I took 9.
yeah, no, just some changes coming, which I kind of needed, and then with that change coming, it's like I can never just be like it can never just be fully chill.
yeah.
Play something, whatever. But I think I'll be in a better headspace, which would be nice, and yeah. But I've been stressed, but I think like what's rad is like a day like today, like on paper, it looks like it's like I came off. I'm complaining about coming like off a stressful week, and then if I look like a day like today, which is my day off, like it's been go from the minute I woke up. But it's all good things.
Right.
I went and got coffee with Mike and Martin, went and practiced with Burner State, and then now we're here hanging out doing the podcast.
Yes.
So it's all busy stuff, but it's like all fun stuff. It's good stuff, and it's like I think stuff that helps me decompress and helps me kind of just like being able to vent a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess yeah. So it's stressful, but it's getting better for me.
All right. Well, that being said, let's jump in.
Yes.
Let's swing into this. Let's swing into the action.
This guy.
All right, title card. Spider-Man accent talking in the background.
So we actually have it playing here. We're gonna do a full on 3-hour walkthrough.
We're not even talking about it. You're just going to watch our reaction.
Yeah.
Oh my God! No way! Wait, that was in there. Yeah.
So I will say one of the cool things about renting the theater and being there. Sorry.
It's okay. March is coming.
I get to be one of the listeners.
One of the cool things is that like because you know everybody in the theater, it's not like as much like
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Agreed.
Like so there would be so many moments where you would see Ty climbing on
Yes,
shit.
because I was so excited.
Or like hectic stressful moments where he would get up and stand along the side wall of the theater.
I'm like,
by himself, leaning
what is
on
happening?
there.
Oh my God, what's about to happen?
You know?
I mean,
But it was so funny watching him just be like this against like the railing, and then like 2 seconds later he's up like Spidey pose on top of
Spidey
it.
goes on the wall.
Like, how'd you get up there, man?
I do have powers. I will say that I do have powers.
And then like at random times in the movie, I'd just hear, Mike, look at the J's. You see his shoes?
Again, I was very, very
like,
excited.
yes!
I was so excited.
They're the shadows. They're the shadow 2.0s.
Oh my God. I want to go back. We need to go back. We need to see it again.
Well,
I think the best thing about the whole theater being rented out was like, even though there was some extra seats, I just see Ty getting up and walking to everybody.
yeah.
Well, I had to make sure everybody was cool.
I feel like he was just like Ty going up to everybody. He's like, did you see that shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
How was the seating? Was it like were there like gaps?
Recliner-
clicks? Like were people like in?
I mean-
was everyone kind of together? Was everyone towards the back,
It
middle?
wasn't a massive theater.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't so big that everybody could just go in their separate directions. But like there were, I mean, I guess like by clicks, like maybe 3 people would sit together and there'd be like a chair. And
Yeah,
then
like-
other people. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't.
It was more like the people that came together just like sat together. But it wasn't like nobody sat in like the
Yeah.
very front and they were like, no, I don't want to sit next to them. Like it was
Yeah.
just, we were all just
And
kind
then we were all just talking kind of to each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
You know. So it's cool.
Sounds fun.
it was.
It was.
Kinda like-
And I think that they knew that we had rented that theater because they have those buttons that you could push to call waiters and stuff. And everybody was pressing the buttons trying to get drinks.
Keep going,
No,
keep on,
nobody showed up. Nobody showed up.
Oh, it's these guys? Yeah, no.
Fuck those guys.
I mean, they heard you guys in the lobby for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were like, yeah, we're not going anywhere near those guys. Leaving them alone.
What theater was it?
AMC in Ontario. Yeah.
They had
okay.
Spider-Man themed drinks.
Okay, so let me say this. So when we did Venom in October,
Wait, you did this with Venom?
yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, he didn't tell us about it.
To be fair, here's what happened. I actually don't have an excuse for that. That's actually just my fault. Full responsibility on my end. But so we went to go see Venom, and they didn't have any themed drinks, which was very shocking because what was the first movie that came out like when movies opened? Was it like it was Mortal Kombat and Kong versus
Yeah,
and so I mean it was kind of busy for Mortal Kombat, nothing crazy. But then I'm like, okay, this is like the first Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
But was that after though or
Yeah.
before? It was after.
I think it was after Venom.
Okay, so it was like one of the bigger Sony/Marvel movies that came out. Anyway, so I'm assuming that they're gonna have drinks named after either Venom or Carnage. Nothing. So of course, what did we do? We made a scene and we're like, you guys need to have themed drinks. Well, guess what they did? So
They're like, guess what? Here's $48 themed drinks.
yeah, that
It wasn't even a souvenir cup, dude.
yeah, that was a.
They give it back.
Yeah.
It was a Spidey sense and what was the other one?
Web something?
The web slinger and the Spidey sense, I think,
Yeah.
is what it was.
One was tequila and one was like
Vodka.
Oh, these are like drink.
Yeah, no, yeah, because it was the same bartenders that were there. Like what was that 2 months beforehand? So I mean, I don't think that was like a corporate thing. I think they literally just did it for them. So that was cool. They should have had I thought there was like a multiverse drink though. No?
Maybe.
Spoiler.
Oh, whoops.
No.
I mean,
I think one of the drinks was the multiverse something.
yeah,
The green
okay, that's
one. The
yeah.
tequila one.
That's
was like
okay. Yeah. I was like, whoops.
something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably. Everyone was expecting it. I mean,
Yeah.
commercials had that people from the other day.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, first trailer.
At least
man.
it wasn't like Toby and Andrew.
Yeah. They just named the drink.
For a
Here's
drink.
the Toby.
Actually,
Here's the Andrew.
if they would have had 3 drinks,
Toby and Andy.
yeah, then that would have given it away.
Just mashed it up like Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Tobandy.
Yes.
Do you think it'd be what would you guys think if Sony started to do trailers that had Toby and Andrew in it now?
Now?
People have had their time. I think like after, like you said, like after 2-3 weeks, if you can't see it, I mean, sorry China, we don't know what's going on.
They'll
over
probably
there,
do it for right before the not the,
DVD?
like the
DVD.
digital or DVD or Blu-ray whatever release. They'll
Is
probably
that
do
still a
that.
thing?
Yeah.
Do they
I
still-
mean,
They're releasing it on digital for Vudu on February 28th, and the only reason I know that is because it's my birthday and I'm going to buy the ever-loving crap out of it
Yes.
and watch it all day.
yep.
And then apparently it's going to be jumping on streaming like well after that though. Like I don't know.
Probably
Sony-
on Disney. Like,
Well,
right?
They
Disney
have
Plus
to.
isn't going to get it right away because Sony's taking the complete thing for themselves. They're not going to give it to Disney
Here
for
we
a while,
go. True. We have to wait.
which is why I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have the movie regardless. I need it.
I didn't realize that Disney Plus does like behind the scenes or deleted scenes. Like I didn't know those features were on there. I just
Yeah.
realized that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they better. I mean, well, it's not expensive. I'm just saying they just better.
That's the most serious thing I've ever seen.
Well, I'm just saying. We'll get into that.
You
later.
should have just looked right into the camera when that
Yeah.
happened.
Just look.
Disney, you better. No, I'm just kidding.
like,
I'm just playing Disney. No, I'm just playing.
Don't change.
Dude, so one of the things I wanted to know was everybody, and we probably might. I'm guessing we probably have like the same scenes because they're But what's everybody's just like favorite moments of the movie?
Wow.
If you,
I can pick one? Dang.
We'll go with if you had to pick one, but I mean,
man.
obviously we'll have more.
For me, one of my favorite moments, and I'm just going to jump in before everybody because I have so many of them.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments is that realization moment he has when he's trying to help all of them out in the apartment, and he's like, something's not right.
Oh, the spot.
Yes.
Yeah, when he's starting to figure out the spider
Yes.
sense, because you see it like at the end of the other movie, at the end of Far From Home, where he's just starting to realize like I can harness this and use it to my benefit when he's fighting Mysterio in that hallway.
The tingle.
Yeah, and
Yes,
then you
the
realize
the
like
Peter Tingle. Yes.
that, from that moment to where he's at in No Way Home is like what, less than a week.
Yeah, it's
So-
not
Yeah, actually.
that far apart.
Yeah.
And so something he's still like he just figured out how to kind of use it, and now he's like, oh, like this is going to be something crucial to my like survival. And so like that scene was really cool because it showed him like again it's something that it's a line that Strange says at the beginning where he says we've gone through so much it's hard for me to remember that you're a kid.
Yeah.
And that's like brings it back to that. He's like, oh, he's still like 17 years old. And like he's got to figure this out to continue doing this for the rest of his life.
But that shot is like it's like chilling because like that it has that the vibe is set. You know, the camera changes. It's like, and then that shot where it's like Peter, and there's was it 4 of the
Yeah. The telephoto lens where it's just him and everybody else is kind of filling in behind him.
Yeah, dude. I was like, oh, that's so.
And they have that low droning like. Yeah, that was a good setup, a suspense moment.
Okay, well, that's definitely one of mine. Okay, I will go with. This is gonna sound really bad. I just need to know everybody to know I'm not really a violent person, but one of my favorite scenes was the end. Peter versus Goblin. He pretty much was like.
He beat his ass.
He beat his ass.
Yeah.
Like I mean, if you look at all the, he's never really been like that. You know, it's either webs, kicks here and there. Like, no, he was like bare knuckle. Like I mean, goodness gracious, so good.
Well, I will say like one of my favorite scenes also involves Peter and Green Goblin, but it's an earlier fight scene in the hallway where he's on him just like punching him in the face and you just
Goblin,
see like
Goblin.
like every punch he looks back and he's just laughing like it's doing nothing
It's
and you're like, oh shit.
This is serious.
Yeah, because if we were to take one of those punches, like one, you're done.
Yeah, I'm out.
You're
I'm,
done.
I'm sleep. Yeah,
Like
for sure.
because people you kind of like with all the Stark tech in the earlier iterations, of Spider-Man throughout the movies, you forget that like part of the powers are that he's got the super strength. He's
strong.
Like one punch to a normal human being is gonna like it could kill you.
Yeah.
Essentially. So like for Goblin to be taking these punches and then just turning around, and
just
looking back
ate
and
them,
just
every
like-
single one, and just starts
and
laughing. Like, oh.
And this serum that Goblin took, it gave him enhanced strength, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
But still, though,
Yeah.
like,
Dude, Willem Dafoe, man.
oh my god,
Yeah.
yeah, he crept into my top 3 villains for sure. Oh my god, we'll get into that later.
He's something.
he's amazing. He is amazing. But yeah, that was my favorite, I think.
Mike.
Oh, dude. So one of my favorite moments, and I guess one of the moments that got me like early on was Aunt May right before she passes, and she's like I love how she just digs in, and because Peter's like, no man, this is a mistake. She's like, no, like my moral mission. She's like, no, like this is like basically gives the iconic line, and like I feel like this whole movie when I step back and I look at it on paper, it's like that's cheesy or that could have been corny or whatever, but everyone delivered it so well, and the way she does it, and I love how they didn't just like when the glider comes in and hits her and she's just laying there and then she's like passing away, like they set you up to think like, oh, maybe she's gonna be fine, I guess. Somehow
man.
And then like Peter being like, wait, what? Like what? Like are you? I don't know.
So how do we as a whole feel about Aunt May delivering the iconic line versus having an Uncle Ben do it?
I mean,
I'm okay with it, but go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, I mean, I feel like if it wasn't Iron Man, it had to be her. Like,
Right.
Oh, interesting.
We actually had a talk about this well before the movie came out. And I was texting him. And I was like, "What do you think? Like, how much are we gonna cry if it's Tobey Maguire who tells him that before he ends up dying?" In the movie?
I might have lost it.
That would be fair. Yeah.
Ooh,
I saw that as like one of the leaks, and I was just like, oh, dude, that'd be very impactful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Now that one for me at least, it was really cool because again they touched on. It was great that they didn't go back and do the old Uncle Ben pass and he didn't say Uncle Ben, but they allude to that in like Civil War when Iron Man first meets him. He's like, look, when you have these powers and you can do something but you don't, and the bad things happen, that's on you.
Yeah.
And the idea that he's kind of lived with that unspoken guilt, like for however many movies and however long he's been in the MCU. And then to have this with her telling him the same thing, like, look, this is not, like, it is a gift. Like you really have to use this for the betterment of not just yourself, but everybody else.
Right.
But that part, that like killed me where she's just laying there and she's like, what's wrong? And she was like, when she was passing, asking him, like, are you okay? What's going on? I'm like, oh, dude.
Yeah. And then you just knew it was coming. You're like, okay.
And then they go to that scene that's in all the trailers where he's sitting there and Jonah's talking on the big screen. And that was that moment where it's like, it clicked for me, like realizing, like watching all 3 of these movies that have come out. I'm like, oh, like they've put all his
in one big origin.
exactly.
It's like, damn.
Like, holy shit. Like, I know Spider-Man's origin stories. I know all of this stuff. I read this when I was a kid, and then this happened, and I was like, oh, you long played me, and I fell for it. So, yeah.
Got him.
Totally in. I'm on board. Yeah. And it's a different universe. I don't know if they touched on that in the movie, too. That's
But I think that also makes it like why for me, because I thought Aunt May in this world delivering it, I thought was awesome because we actually are invested in her and we got to be with her, and
we all love her.
It is
5,000%.
It's a different world, and I think I love that Sony and Marvel, whatever, like I love that they just kind of embrace that, like, we have Tobey Maguire who shoots it comes from him, his web comes from him, and then the other 2 don't, and then this is an MJ, but it's not Mary Jane.
Yeah. They did really, really well with that.
I think that's so cool. And then Andrew acknowledging, I lost Gwen, my MJ. Like, you know what I mean? Just things like that where it's like, even if it is kind of like spelled out for us, but it's like, it's still cool to like see that acknowledgement and to understand that like these are, I don't know. I think it's okay for Aunt May to be the one who delivers it for us in this movie.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk then about the introduction of the multiple Spider-Man into into the movie. Because to me, this was a toss-up. I still think one of my favorite scenes was our first time seeing Andrew Garfield and seeing the other Peter Parker coming in. First off, because, shout out to the Filipinos who got Tagalog straight up on a Marvel movie in the big screen. You know what I mean? But then, like, just that whole scene and the whole bringing everybody together, it was like it was goofy, but it was also like so impactful at the same time. Like just seeing him like his mannerisms, movement in the suit. Because I've always thought that Andrew Garfield was still the best in suit. Spider-Man. His Peter Parker was a little too cool for me. He was a little way too cool. But in the suit, like I've always thought that he did so well. Yeah. And that he had the quirky, like smart ass attitude, like the mannerisms and all this stuff. So seeing him kind of hop through and then, I love that moment for me. But
good.
Everyone kind of, I think most people kind of realizing when he hops through, this is clearly a taller.
Well, even just seeing the way that he's like kind of like in the alleyway and he like kind of crouches down to look, and you're like, oh, okay,
it's happening.
They don't move the same. Like they, it looks different.
Yeah. Plus, like, Tom Holland Spider-Man has already seen that sling ring stuff, so like he would have been, I know what's going on.
Yeah,
right. Mr. in charge. But,
Oh, true.
Yeah. But that was also like, it was one of those moments as soon as like, show me Peter Parker, I was like, he didn't say his friend, because I know like obviously it's Peter Parker.
That's true, huh?
So I wish I could see my friend. Because remember that when they were leaving, when he first took it, and they did their little high five on the way out, he snapped the fingers, and then that's when they saw the little.
Yeah.
So it was like a buddy thing. I was like, okay. He's on to something.
Spoiler: Ned's in Doctor Strange.
Oh,
he's the new Sorcerer Supreme.
That's not confirmed, but I think that's definitely happening. But
I mean, I've seen people on Twitter be very adamant about stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and just put all of my eggs into that basket.
We're gonna see Ned again. As
for sure. I was heavily invested in him being a goblin.
Yeah.
Very, very heavily invested in that, but
they teased everybody though with those colorings, that costume.
With the little thing.
So were you more excited to see Toby or were you more excited to see Andrew? And would this movie have worked if it was only one of them?
No. You need that show.
No.
You needed both of them for
but
sure.
I was like you. I was more excited to see Andrew. Like, I love Toby, and it's always going to be literally a part of me as the tattoo. But Andrew's Garfield was the one that, like you said, I liked him more as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But he had, I felt like, his story with Gwen Stacy it ended like on the more traumatic and like Empire Strikes Back, like such a downer.
Yeah.
And it was one of those moments where it's like, you still have to get up and you still have to put on your big boy pants and you still have to go out and save New York.
Yeah.
And I love how it played out at the end of the second Amazing Spider-Man movie where he does that when the little boy stands up to the light. And he comes over and he's like, hey man, I got this. And I was like, oh dude, like he's hurting. Like,
that was definitely a thug moment.
Yeah, man.
And it's something they also allude to in the movie when he was like, after that I stopped pulling my punches. I was like, oh, okay.
Who did you?
Like that hurt him. Like it's one of those things where it's like, bringing them back and showing that they've aged and showing like they've gone through stuff since then and like they are dealing with their own inner turmoil and demons and stuff, like humanizing them, like which is what the character was supposed to be in the first place. So yeah, it was great.
Which of course may tie to the Morbius universe because we've got the Spider-Man murderer stamp on the, just a little.
Also, Andrew Garfield is in Morbius, confirmed. Just gonna throw that out there. It's happening. I'm gonna say Andrew. I mean, I think I have a little vendetta against Toby. I'm over it now, but still hurts a little bit. But no, I think one of my favorite things about Andrew Spider-Man is how they talked about and gave legit like story and screen time to the parents, because that's always been like a. It's talked about, but not really ever been a thing. And like they did it in both movies too. Like, you saw exactly what happened in that second movie with the plane and all that. I'm like, oh, dang. And then I really, really wish, even though it was a deleted scene, I wish they would have just put it in that scene at the end.
At the graveyard?
At the graveyard where like, I mean, that is, I don't like, whose idea was that to take that? Anyway, if you guys haven't seen it, please go, it's on YouTube.
I don't think I've seen it.
Really?
Oh, dude, it's so good.
That's what you said after we left the theater Thursday night for that Spider-Man movie. You're like, I don't think I've seen that yet.
Yeah, no, dude, it's so. I mean, he's a good actor, but oh my god, like the raw emotion between them two, like where have you, like,
So,
man, so good.
Andrew is top tier. actor.
Yeah,
My goodness.
seriously.
Phenomenal.
Hacksaw Ridge, I was just like, dang, I was like, this guy's like crazy good. He's really good. And then I've been trying to, I don't think I pushed you guys very hard, but I've been pushing Mike so hard to watch.
I'll watch it tomorrow.
Oh, Tick Tick Boom.
Tick Boom.
Yeah,
You
yeah, I
push- you
gotta
push
hop
me.
on that.
I gotta get on that too.
Yeah.
It
tomorrow.
is.
I'm off tomorrow.
He is so good in it. It's good. It's a good musical. Lin-Manuel Miranda did Hamilton. Andrew's so freaking good in it.
Yeah.
He's so good in it. Okay, for me, I was excited to see Andrew come through. Like, that was exciting. Like, I
Yeah.
think that was the high five. That was like,
Yes. All right. Yeah.
that was the first high five with
Right.
because it was so exciting. I was like doing
Yes.
the looking around thing,
Yes,
and the guy next to me,
yes.
he was doing it too, and we just like. Had we been standing, we would have probably hugged. I think. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes.
But
You remember those old commercials like Moments in Brodom? Or
yeah,
whatever?
yeah, it's just that's that right there, and it zooms in on the hands. Yes. Yes.
dude, but I was surprised that when I saw Toby, I did the whole like my eyes kind of like got
Yep.
like I don't know I don't know why I didn't think Toby would hit me that way because like I like Spider-Man and I really like the second I like Spider-Man 2 probably the most but
Yeah. Agreed.
but I just kind of felt like very indifferent. I didn't think I'd care that much if Toby was in it or not.
Yeah.
But then seeing him,
It's different.
it hit me like emotionally.
Yeah.
It was yeah.
Yeah.
That's literally the part I got to during the crescendo of the movie when they're in the fight. And when they finally like, okay, just follow my lead, and they all jump off together. I was like,
Oh, man.
But I liked that they couldn't figure it out at first.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're all like, we're so used to doing this on our own. We're so
Yes.
used to being alone all the time. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
They're all, I want to just watch them interact.
Yeah. That was Peter 1,
Did you
Peter 2,
hear-
Peter 3.
Avengers, what is that?
Are you in a band?
I
love that.
I would, and there's few moments in the Tobey Spider-Man movies, but I love angry Toby.
Yeah.
Those little moments. How is it helping?
Yeah. Dude, I think that when we first saw it, I think I was the only one who caught that because everyone was laughing in the theater hysterically. It's like, are you in a band? Is that a band?
Yeah.
And then Toby screams out, how is this helping? And I started like dying.
Yeah.
And everybody else was kind of trailing off. I was like, I don't think anybody else got it.
Yeah.
The Bully Maguire started to come out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was great.
So good.
So, just so we can keep this under like 5 hours.
Yeah.
we got time.
So just and we'll come back to like more fun stuff. But is there anything in this movie that feels like a nitpick where you're like, oh, I didn't like that, or was it something that didn't sit well with you?
I wanted a sixth villain.
There
really
was a
the-
sixth villain in there. He just wasn't engaged in the fight.
That's true.
True.
Venom.
No.
True.
But would he have been a villain though? Would he?
But here's the crazy
Well,
thing. Here's
we'll
the crazy
see.
thing. Because here's me nerding out, and I warned you this was going to happen. So
Yeah.
specifically, the whole thing that Strange kept telling him is like the reason the universes are coming together is because the people who know who you are all coming here.
Right.
Now, at the end of Venom, when that happens, he came into the universe first,
He
and then he
did.
saw Tom Holland Spider-Man. So he didn't see any of the other two.
Right.
So the weird thing is now is he was brought here first to find out who Spider-Man was, and then he figured it out after he was here. So that's it for me.
Okay.
But fan service, perfect. Don't change it.
Yeah.
Also, secondly, the scene at the beginning with Daredevil when he catches that brick.
Oh.
He catches that brick.
My
My
God.
question is who threw that brick? Because they're like 5 stories up.
That's a solid ass
That's
throw.
actually a really good question.
And did you also notice that it was spelled wrong? I forgot what was written on the. I think it was like "We believe Mysterio," but they spelled it with "lie" and "believe,"
It's their first time. Good job.
or something like that. So
Yeah.
I just remember looking at it like that's spelled wrong.
Yeah, we believe Mysterio, I think is what it said. Yeah. We believe, and then they spoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, who threw that?
Such a hard, like if you're, dude, to give Matt Murdock that like little.
That was
Yeah.
that was a dope moment.
Yeah.
Now, if we're to tie in the Netflix Marvel universe into you know, Spider-Man, street level hero to me. Even though yes, he's done these Avengers stuff, he's still one of the street level, you know, New Yorkers. So, do we bring the entire roster in? Do we make some changes? Do we
For like the Defenders?
Yeah.
I'm
'Cause
okay
that's
with
wild.
everyone except Iron Man.
I knew you were gonna.
But at the same time, though, I feel like, I feel like if you give Kevin Feige and that whole
He'll fix
his thing, I feel like they can make Iron Fist cool.
Yeah.
because I muscled all the way through the end of all of Iron Fist, and then she becomes the Iron Fist, right? And then Colleen becomes the Iron Fist, but then he finds the Iron Fist revolvers at the end. So technically, he is also an Iron Fist. And are we going to bring both of them back, or are we going to choose one? Or are we just going to kick him out? Or what's, you know?
Is that back on Netflix? Or is it just Daredevil? Because I know they put Daredevil back on Netflix here.
It's back.
It's back.
I gotta watch it.
Defenders are
'Cause
back.
I did not. Okay, so I skipped Iron Fist. I watched half of the Defenders, and then I watched all of Daredevil season 3, and I was lost. And the reason I didn't watch Iron Fist is I loved the character,
But he.
Don't watch.
but I watched like the first two. I watched the
don't
first
watch
2 episodes of it, and I was like, this isn't like. He's a good actor. I couldn't get into it.
I couldn't tell you that I saw it, but I fast forward so much of it that I can't really tell you
Yeah.
much about that. season.
So I muscled through just because I wanted to see what was going to happen. And in the end, Colleen ends up becoming the Iron Fist, right? So Colleen, which is cool. I like her. She's dope. And then in like a post credit scene, you see him at like some like Antarctica or like some Siberian bar or whatever, and they get into a bar fight, and he has the revolvers of the like gunslinging Iron Fist, and they're glowing, and so that could potentially open some weird doors and stuff. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Dave Bernthal, bring him back, please.
Yeah.
John,
Or John Bernthal. What did I say?
It's Dave.
Dave.
Think about Dave Grohl.
yeah, you think about Dave Grohl.
You should look up who Dave Bernthal is, just so we can see. Jamie, can we get that one?
This is where we need intern Harry.
Yeah, Harry.
Oh, speaking of Harry Osborn. Confirmed. No, I need to stop. No, I'm not.
Okay, so and then so I guess tying back to the movie.
Yes.
So with Ned, right? Ned keeps telling Peter, making all these promises. I would never turn on you. Blah 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 blah. All this other stuff, and then he forgets. It's all gone, right?
Yeah.
So is he going to be Hobgoblin? Is he going to be?
They could open it up to that. I mean, that's I think after everything that they've done with these characters, and now they're launching into his post life, and I think this is kind of.
This is the start of Spider-Man.
I don't
feel
think
like.
this is too on the nose. What I took away from that last scene in the diner, when he's going to remember he's got the paper eyes and tell MJ everything he knows. Like he's like, I've been here with you the whole time. I love you, and like he has the paper in his hand. He's getting ready to tell her all this stuff, and he looks up at her band-aid or her bandage over the eyebrow.
Right.
And it's like this little moment where you see the look on his face kind of change, and it's like he realizes that she's safer without him, and that's
Right.
when he just like kind of gives up and he puts it back in his pocket. And that's for me. I think leaving those people, the ones that are closest into his life, without knowing who he is going forward, it sets up his perfect story. It's like he has
Correct.
nobody. It's him fending for himself. It's him setting up all of his own tech. It's him trying to earn money to live as a person, and not succeeding on both fronts, but doing well enough to where he can get by.
Right.
But the whole thing of him is like this universe with these characters that he got put into from MCU, everyone's known. Like every character, they know their identities. And it's like he was the only one that was like an outlier where it's like he needs to be kept a secret. And
He's a kid. He's broke.
Yeah.
So now, then moving forward, do we get a different MJ? Do we get a Gwen Stacy, or do we get maybe a Black Cat?
I hope for a Black Cat. The Black Cat
Coming.
aspect would be
Coming.
great.
I feel like I heard rumors of Black Cat.
And Morbius.
Is that what? Okay.
Black Cat confirmed.
I mean, if they want to bring Anne Hathaway back to be this cat from another universe,
Dude, she's
You need to make a call quick.
she already played a cat in Catwoman, right?
Yeah.
sure. She
Mm-hmm.
is. Previous experience.
Lots of cats going on. Oh yeah. Well, but doesn't that also will set up? I can never remember if it's animated or if it's live action, but that Spider-Man freshman year too.
That's gonna be animated.
Right.
It's animated.
Animated.
So,
It's a series.
Okay.
I had another theory too that I just remembered because we're talking about his friends and stuff like that. So, do you feel like there's a reason that they've shown so much Flash in all of the movies? Like why they kept making him so prevalent and everything? Like there was no reason for him to always have to barge in on things or try and be Spider-Man's best friend or try and
Make him be like the bully in the first movie. And
And have his
You know,
hair
talking
bleached.
about again.
Well,
His hair was
that's
bleached.
kind of his shtick in the comics was he was always picking on Peter, and then Peter got the ability to fight back, and it was like that's when he talks again in Civil War. He's like, when you have all these things and you suddenly you can do them, you really can't because you couldn't do them before, so I
Yeah.
can't show people that I can do them now. And that's kind of like in Noah and Far From Home when he's got the glasses and he's like, give him back. He's like, no, because I'll give him back, and he reaches over and just barely touches him on the head and knocks him out.
yeah.
So, yeah, and it's, again, like I said, we just realized at the end of the third movie that it's a prequel story. It's his whole origin. So, you find out this guy's been picking on him his whole life.
Now, wasn't there a comic where the symbiote was attached to Flash?
That's so weird. So weird. So weird how that happened.
So
Yeah, that's
I'm thinking different universe. They take Tom Hardy back to Sony, and then in the Marvel universe, Flash is
yeah.
Venom
That'd be cool.
with that little leftover
Yeah.
little.
I can't wait.
Wasn't he the one that looked like he had a Punisher outfit and the guns and stuff, or was it somebody else? He had that later in the comic series. Like
Oh, you're talking about like Agent Venom.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't remember who.
They were older then. I think
Yeah.
Flash was still doing it that one. I don't remember. I'll have to go back and look at it.
Yeah.
I gotta go resubscribe to my Marvel Unlimited comics. Dude, it's $10 a month. I probably was reading like 4 or 5 comic books a day.
It was worth it. Yeah,
Oh my
it was
God.
worth it.
It's killer.
I need that.
Shout out Marvel Unlimited.
Yeah,
Sponsorship.
Yeah. Hashtag sponsor us.
Yes. Need that.
I think so for my this is clearly like I feel like I was gonna say a lot about how like I watch movies, but the thing that bothered me, I hate when you do something and then you stop or you forgot that you can do that. It's like why don't you keep going? So my point of that is and being like find Peter Parker.
Oh.
It's like, well, you brought in 2. Let's find another one. What's worse gonna happen? You're gonna bring in another, like, who you can bring in Miles? You know what I mean? Like, not Miles. I guess that one.
No, Miles Morales confirmed.
But I mean, like, it's like why stop? And then the other thing that bothered me was like when they're like, yeah, we'll do the ring and we'll go to Statue of Liberty, and it's like, okay, well, why don't you guys do the ring to go to the rooftop? Or I guess maybe they could have.
Maybe they
But
did.
Maybe they did.
they could have, but also you got to realize when they called in the second Peter Parker, those 2 guys immediately tried to shoot it out in the living room.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
you don't need to piss off their grandma again.
I need you to get
She
the
was
cobwebs
going,
up
she was
top.
going to bed. She was going to bed. She ain't gonna tolerate too much more of them being loud.
I love that she saw 2 just men like shoot things at each other, flip, hang from the ceiling, and she's like, all right, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
I also like that. Like it definitely established the age gap with Toby. When Toby comes in, she's like, hey.
Yeah. Yeah, that little wave, I'm like, yeah, grandma trying to, anyway.
Lola. Stop that.
Oh, that was so good.
Anyway, so that's like the only thing really that bothered me. Like, but that's just because like I hate when I see stuff like that where like someone's done something and
then
it's
they
like,
can't do it
We'll do it now.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
really
do it.
curious what the tie-in is going to be for him. Why does it can't just be the ring that gives him these abilities, right?
Oh, just to randomly give it to him out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, didn't he say something about like his grandma?
The grandma said it was
something-
magic.
Something like right, and this
And
is
then they
before.
show the wall with the knife or the swords, whatever.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was
That's a very Filipino thing. There's one in everybody's house.
Is it really?
Okay, I stand corrected. My bad.
It's like a Filipino crest with all these swords on it. There's one in every
I
Filipino.
was
All right.
like, oh, that's got it. Oh, like, is that a hero?
Okay, well then shout out to them. Like
Are you a
Huerta.
wizard?
Maybe. I don't have any rings though.
Do the thing.
Every time I do this, I just think about old Mr. Miyagi days.
Cobra Kai, which
Shout out Cobra Kai.
the best fan service show ever.
Yeah.
Love them.
I'm still behind on it.
I love that
Sorry.
show.
I love how they brought that guy in and immediately. Oh, we shouldn't make spoilers on this, but we'll talk about it when it's off.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, the whole season came out on New Year's Eve. Like, if you haven't,
And it's on season 4 now.
it's on season 4. Yeah, you got to just. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah.
Anyone have any net picks, or should we go back to the awesome? Oh, let's go into theories. What were some? Okay, so Mike and I we did we did some predictions. We did 5,
We did 5.
and we were. I think I was 2 for 5.
I think the only thing that didn't come true for me was Hobgoblin, because on a technicality we did see Wanda. It was just, after the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Okay.
I think I got 2. I got very ambitious because I thought we were gonna get a mutant by name.
Right. Yeah.
We'll get
I
that
thought
in
we were
Doctor
gonna get
Strange, I think.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah,
Doctor Strange, yeah.
Yeah.
for sure, Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
But I thought we were gonna get something like at least a name, like
Right.
Xavier or something, like not just a hinted at, or like even just from the same mutant. I thought somehow we'd get someone coming, which I was
Well-
wrong. I think the only thing I got right was that Venom would show up and it went away.
Yeah. Yep.
And then, shoot, what was my other one? Maybe I only got one. I got one right.
It was so long ago that we talked
I
about it.
know.
I don't remember.
All 3 Spider-Man in it.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I think we
Sure.
both said
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
We see
yeah.
all 3
Okay.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Venom, I think we both
Yeah.
said Venom would be somewhere in it.
I thought Ned was gonna turn at this moment for this.
Oh,
That's the thing that I thought was gonna happen, because I thought when it shows MJ falling, I thought Ned was gonna fall too, and survive the fall, and then hold
Right.
it against Peter that he picked.
That's
MJ
a
over.
dang. That would be a.
That's
super
right.
good-
You did say that, yeah.
Yeah, I was wrong.
I think I said that it was going to be Andrew's redemption moment, that he's going to be the
Oh
one
yeah.
to save it.
That was clutch.
What a moment too. That one.
Man.
That was another like. I don't know. Actually, I don't think I high-fived on that one. I think I was more like
Yeah. Just.
5 back 2.
He just
then-
reached over and handed you a
Yeah.
I just picture your high five with that guy like the beginning of Predator, where there's like his biceps.
Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, he did. He was a bigger guy, but
It's fine. He was excited.
I was happy.
It kind of hurt your hand after the high five. You're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, my problem with like trying to come up with theories before a movie comes out is
Do you go too hard?
I don't go too hard on theories. I know where reliable leaks come from, and I kind of they blow up in my inbox before the movies, like weeks before the movies come out. I'm like, okay, then this is gonna happen. And sure enough, like since Civil War came out, I've received those, and it's like everything's been right, and I'm like, okay.
I feel like one of the last ones we read was pretty.
well, it was so I don't care about spoilers.
I don't know.
If I'm being honest, like you could spoil anything for me. I'm still going to go watch it.
Yeah,
I'm still going to be
right.
like,
Yep.
I'll probably forget by the time I get there that
Yeah.
you even told me that, right?
Yeah.
But we listened to one night after a vocal lesson, we went and got Raising Cane's. It was like 9:30 p.m. There was no line at Raising Cane's, so that's why I remember this.
Yeah, that's a first.
Right? So we went over there, and the whole way there, we were listening to a podcast where they were reading leaks. Like, these are the things that we're going to see in the movie. And, like, 98% of what they said was in the movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The only thing that they got wrong was that, like, Ned and MJ end up in a relationship together after the fact.
Oh.
They couldn't be in a relationship with her. He couldn't even touch his donuts, man. Both times he didn't eat that fucking donut. Twice.
It's that diet he's on, man. It's the
Hey.
Hobgoblin diet, dude. Have you seen how much weight he's lost since the beginning?
Yeah, no, he came through,
He's
man.
putting in work, man.
Good for him.
Yeah, that donut did look good though.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Did you have any like predictions?
Predictions. Let me see. I predicted that someone was gonna die. I kind of figured it was either gonna be MJ or Aunt May, but I didn't guess it. I definitely predicted Venom. I think the 3 Spider-Man thing I knew. It was just more of like at what point are they going to come in the movie?
And how big?
And how big of a role?
Yeah, right. Because like, were they gonna like let them take over the film, or like how that was gonna go? I did the same thing with the Goblin with Ned. I mean, unless something happens in the future, but we just don't know.
As of right now, we're wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
For now, we're wrong.
I think the one that I just thought was super off was Mysterio. I thought somehow he wasn't dead, and I thought he was gonna be the 6th. That's why I was saying like there was only 5.
Yeah.
And I thought like he was gonna come back somehow, and then my prediction of how the other 2 came in was gonna be all 6 were gonna just gang up on Peter, like in the video game, and they just are just beating his ass, and then it gets like super quiet or dark or whatever, and then all of a sudden you just see like 2 shadows, and you're like, oh god, this is about to happen. But yeah, that was off. So yes, Mysterio's dead.
That was something. That was off, and the thing where it said like, I think one of them said like, Tobey Maguire is gonna show up in like a hoodie.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and be like someone that you see, but it isn't.
Yeah.
And then that Tobey Maguire. Oh no, he did get stabbed.
Yeah.
I think one of the.
that was tough.
I was reading that one of the early drafts had him dying.
I thought he was gonna die.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna die too.
Yeah.
Man, what?
Just for closure.
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire is such a great actor that in the glider scene, it's like he could have given some kind of Spider-Man thing or Uncle Ben thing, but it's like no, he's gonna just sell this scene with his freaking face, his eyes.
That was so
and
good.
just, like.
And I like how you can see, like, even though he's a lot older and understands his powers more, and he's obviously probably stronger than Tom Holland, like, he's putting in work to stop him from murdering this
Yeah.
dude.
Well, because it's the rage versus the experience. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
And every time he was
Steal
like,
that for a song title, actually.
he's like, we save all of them.
writer's credit.
Yeah, I'm definitely writing that down because I don't want to forget that.
Toby telling him, he's like, yeah, we're saving all of them. That's what we do. Like,
I definitely think moving forward, they kind of capped Toby's story in the movie. They're like, yeah, we made it work, So like they painted this picture of like a Spider-Man who, he's gone through it, he's kind of lived, he's aged, and then him and MJ made it work. She did that weird shit from the animated series where she jumped off a building and he saved her type stuff. So like they've made that shit work, but they've really left Andrew's story open ended. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I had a dark path, but then this could be what kind of makes him realize like things need to change. I need to change. There's still some good left, type of deal.
Yeah.
So going back into the Sony universe, now we have an Andrew Garfield who's got his redemption story now, who now has a Venom in his universe, who now has, his Sinister Six that he can still come back to. And, hot Jamie Foxx goes back to his universe.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, all of a sudden he's just this stud that just changed with the universe.
Yeah,
so,
that was...
which love the way that they did the mask every time he
good.
charged up.
So good.
Now, what if it was a universe that made him look like this? Like, what if they go back to Andrew's universe and
He just looks all
he goes back to looking like the guy from Office Space?
Yeah. You never know.
Oh man.
But
Back to like the theory thing. Like I did have an idea at the end of the movie. I thought that it was going to be a little bit different than how it ended. Like I thought it was going to end be like Age of Ultron, where they're all trying to fight Ultron to prevent him from getting to that thing. I thought it was going to be all of them trying to protect Strange while he's casting whatever spell.
Oh yeah.
I think that was really it.
now in that spell, I was trying really hard to look at the glimpses of the different universe.
Yeah.
Since I only saw it once, I really only saw the Rhino silhouette, but the Rhino that we know and love.
Yeah.
Silhouette, right?
Yeah.
Was there anything else in there that we missed?
Yeah.
or that I missed.
It's somewhere online. I should have.
Did we get like a scorpion?
Scorpion?
Yeah,
Scorpion
Scorpion is on there.
Rhino was there. Craven the Hunter was in there.
Oh, Craven was the other one. There you go.
They also had I don't remember the name of the spider, but there's a spider villain who has like the old school. It looks like the old comic book Iron Spider costume, but it's more of like a black and red version of it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And then I don't know if it was a clone or what, but there's a couple
Scarlet
other things.
Spider.
Like the Ben Reilly story.
Oh,
Yeah, but remember there was the Scarlet Spider story where Doc Ock was actually in.
Yeah, that's when he took over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that one.
yeah, those
Yeah,
silhouettes
but
were.
yeah, it was like it was really that was the big fan service part. Aside from all the Spider-Man and everybody fighting, it's like you looked up in the sky and it was like his whole rogue gallery was
Yeah.
up there, and it was like, oh my gosh.
Because I was kind of hoping that not only would we glimpse, and I think I talked to you about this, not only would we glimpse like the Rogues gallery, but then we'd also see like maybe other like
Yes.
Scarlet Spider,
Yes.
we'd see Miles Morales Spider-Man, we'd see some of these other like
Yeah.
different suits, different costumes. What was the 30th anniversary, the black and silver all
yeah,
metal
the
suit
Spawn
that
one,
he
yeah.
had.
I think we get that in Into the Spider-Verse too.
Do you think
Hopefully-
because of the
hopefully.
Spider-Verse and Spider-Verse 2 that's why they didn't bring Miles? Do you think it was a mistake they didn't put Miles? At least as like a glimpse or anything? Like
I'd have liked to have at least seen Miles as like a kid.
Yeah.
Like on the street or something, like seeing
Yeah.
everything happen.
because
like,
he's mentioned
Yeah, they mentioned him in the
in a post credit
indirectly.
in a post credit scene or a deleted scene. He's mentioned by name, right?
His uncle is played by Don Glover.
Yeah.
In
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, that's in the nope, not no. Way
Because
Home.
he says my nephew.
Homecoming. Thank you.
Yeah, he says my nephew in the movie, but I
Yeah.
think there's I don't know if it's a deleted scene.
No, it's in the movie.
wait, is he
In the
actually
movie where
Prowler?
He says
yeah, he plays the character who's supposed to be the Prowler.
he says Miles.
Yeah,
Wait,
in the first in
And
Homecoming.
in Homecoming. So like when
He
he first,
is?
yeah, when he gets the suit, he's the guy he's obviously it's Donald Glover.
Yeah.
But he's putting his food away in the trunk of a car, and he knows Spider-Man knows that he's like an informant or something. So he webs
That
him.
scene.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he plays he's playing the character that eventually becomes the Prowler.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I don't know about the whole Spider-Verse thing, dude. Like Into the Spider-Verse, even though I know now that with the success of this, Sony's there's already rumors popping up online that they're trying to get Emma Stone to return as Gwen to do a
Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Man movie.
I would like that.
Sorry, I just got it.
I can't. I knew. I remember being surprised that they went through and killing her because of how, like, because even with the complaints, she was always really loved. Like
Yeah.
Emma Stone, she's such a likable Gwen. I thought she'd die in the third one. I didn't think they'd kill her off.
Well.
in two.
To be fair, they killed off the entire franchise in the second one. It wasn't just
I feel like the intention there was let's beat him to the fucking ground, and
Yeah.
then the third movie is the redemption song,
Yeah.
and it never happened.
Never
we
happened.
just
And
didn't get it.
Who would it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who would it? How do you end that on a happy? Oh, I guess he was gonna meet MJ.
MJ,
right?
which would have been
Woodley?
Yeah.
really.
I'm a fan.
From Woodley? I don't know if they had her planned for that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
There's scenes of her in the movie.
Yeah.
I do remember they were deleted.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
That okay, that makes more sense now. I totally forgot about that.
So I guess there could have been a happy ending somewhere in there. Well, maybe I don't know.
I'm
They just made a
really
bunch of money.
now I'm curious with Morbius. Did they push back to do reshoots?
They pushed back exclusively to let Spider-Man have its time.
Because it's that big of a
makes
movie.
It does make sense to me. Yeah. it does
I
make
mean,
sense to me.
I
April
mean, Morbius
1st.
is supposed to be out when next week? 21st,
Yeah.
right? 22nd?
No. The week after is the 28th, I think. Or was it the 22nd?
They pushed it back to the beginning of April.
Yeah.
Which is, that's just already frustrating. So
Reshoots. It's too far. It's reshoots.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, like, I don't know if we're going to do predictions, but like my prediction is that Andrew will be in Morbius, whether he's in the suit or not. But
You can't have in Morbius. I mean, there's the very blatant Spider-Man picture on the wall with murderer
Yeah.
spray painted across it. So
They
But
also have
if
the
you look at
Venom
the-
and Black Cat on the newspaper too.
And if you look at the costume that's spray painted on the wall, it's actually the Raimi versus Spider-Man.
yeah,
What?
Somebody's just like, throw them all together.
Yeah, we're just putting
see which
everybody
one
in.
sticks. By the time the movie comes out, it's gonna be the Andrew suit.
Well, I would.
They can edit that.
Yeah.
They can edit that, can't
Yeah,
they?
that's just the one photo.
Let's do because this is where we want to go next.
Yes.
Predictions going forward. What do you?
Yeah.
So you,
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, I think he's in it. I think it's something small like a post-credit scene, just so that way he doesn't take away too. Because I mean, if you have him in the movie, he's obviously gonna steal it. I mean, he's the Spider-Man villain, but like, if if you have Spider-Man in it, he's gonna pull it. That's probably why they didn't do it for Venom or any of the Venoms, because he's gonna pull away from it. So that's my prediction. I think we also get a Felicia. Can't wait. So both of them are gonna be in the movie. Actually, in the movie. But yeah, those are my predictions for Morbius.
For Morbius, I think,
Or just
In general going forward. Yeah.
the live action Spider-Verse going forward. I agree with Ty. I think they're going to be introducing more villains because they already in the trailer they already have Michael Keaton as the Vulture in there. I think they'll bring back, I forget the actor's name, but they'll bring him back as Matt Gargan for the Scorpion, because I feel like in Homecoming the dude had like 3 lines in like 5 minutes, but he was like
dipped,
super intense, and it's like, by the way, we're not going to use you again.
Yeah.
And then
well, they cast Kraven the Hunter, right? Because he was supposed to be the villain
in
No Way Home.
Yeah.
If they didn't get everyone to come back.
Yeah, which
means there's probably a second script out there that's completely different than this movie just floating around.
Yeah.
be weird if we just found it.
Right, but
Right?
I think with the appreciation that's come out of this movie, when everyone's like, "Dude, Andrew's back," I think that surprised about a lot of people in Sony who were like, "Really, you guys like this movie? 'Cause we ruined him." And so I think that there may be a big opportunity for him to come back, specifically because now that they've got these universes back in order, Tom Holland's still technically in the MCU. And then the Sonyverse is, while going to be somewhat interconnected, like we saw in the trailers have pointed out, there's some inconsistencies, even though it's easily fixable.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? They can do literally whatever they want now.
So how do you think that we have two, kind of like what they're doing with like Batman and DC right now, right? Like Robert Pattinson's Batman exists in its own completely different world than the Justice League movies and Ben Affleck and all them, right?
Yeah.
So do you think that we get now 2 different Spider-Men moving forward? We have the Spider-Man that just shows up in these Sony, like anti-hero movies, like Venom, Morbius, whatever they decide to do next, because Sony's not letting go of that franchise. And like those franchising deals, it's like as long as you put out content every 5 years, you maintain the rights. So they're gonna crank out something, right? Does that mean that we continue to get like Morbius, Kraven the Manhunter, all these like villain origin stories, and then they just bring in Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man in these movies as Sony's Spider-Man, and then every other project with Marvel has Tom Holland as Spider-Man here in the MCU.
That would be cool to see. What I would hope, just to do like a running joke though, is like they change whoever's playing Spider-Man like every movie, like they did with the vacation movies, and the kids are always different. Yeah. There's no explanation. He's fighting a bad guy, and there's like,
Yeah. Weren't you?
it's not. I didn't punch you in the face a couple weeks ago. Who are you?
Yeah. It's doable. I want to see him back. I don't like how the second movie ended. I like how it ended. I don't like how they stopped. I needed to see him.
Why did? Because box office, was that what it was?
It was box office, and it was pretty, like, it got shit on pretty hard, I think.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Well, from what old interviews after that Andrew was dropped to Spider-Man, he says that the studio just got too involved. They kept putting their hands in there. It's like, add more stuff, take this out, put this person in. He's like, you're going to muddle up the story to where it's going to take away the point of what.
Which is 95% of the problem on the Warner Brothers and DC side is that Warner Brothers' hands are all in the DC.
Yeah,
side.
Agreed.
That's a topic for a different.
Yeah. Agreed. Batman's still gonna be good though. I'm looking forward to that.
One of my prediction going forward, I don't know how it'll work, but I think Venom is gonna have his trilogy completed, and I think it's gonna be with Andrew. And the reason I think it'll be Andrew is because, well, one, Andrew mentioned how he's never fought
an alien.
And I think that because I thought when Tom Hardy came to the MCU, I was like, dang, I guess Tom can fight him, but makes sense. Tom has all of that tech gear, or whatever. I think now a stripped down Tom Holland fighting a Venom seems kind of crazy, and I think a more experienced Spider-Man needs to fight somebody like a Venom especially the Venom that we've seen now.
Yeah.
What he can do. And maybe that third movie doesn't quite end with them like maybe Andrew's not the ultimate becomes a villain, or maybe they team up or something. And then I think Andrew's trilogy would end with Venom, like them being like an actual fight.
But don't you think that now that they've established that Andrew has gone to dark ass places as Spider-Man,
I can't wait.
and then him getting the symbiote suit when he's already in that dark headspace, like that's like best case scenario.
I want to see that.
You know, that suit, that iteration.
I want to see that so bad.
I just remembered another theory that I had that didn't pan out. I told Ty, I was like, how funny would it be if because he's like, there's only 5 people that they've shown from the bad guys. I was like, well, before we even saw it and the new Venom was in the end, I was like, what if Venom just showed up and helped him during the fight? He's like, what? I was like, and then immediately ate Andrew and Tony.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the whole movie.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Dang it.
Do you guys think Carnage is done? Like done?
It took 90 minutes for them to kill a psychopath that's been around for like 20 years.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like here's the deal. Sony, and it's not just Sony. It's a bane on a lot of writing for like movies, especially superhero movies. Is like they kill off the enemies, the villains, way too early. Yeah. Marvel's getting a little bit better at it, but they still have the same problem, like with Mysterio. Which, by the way, Mysterio was like one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Spider-Man, like of all time. And the idea, like you're kind of thinning out your resources, even though Spider-Man's got like 40 or 50 different fights regularly.
Right.
So I don't know, man. I hope we get some more weird shit going forward. It'd be great.
Craven will be fun for him to fight.
If it's not Jason Momoa, I'm gonna be mad.
I don't think it's him. Who they?
I think they already cast him. I think it's one. I think it's the guy that played Quicksilver. Is that?
Let's see.
What's his name? I remember his name. He was in Godzilla, right? He was.
Craven the Hunter.
Yeah. Him?
Yeah, it's the same guy.
Really?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
That's it. Yeah.
Wow.
He's the only one that's been cast.
Okay.
For Craven?
Yeah.
You said they don't cast Jason Momoa.
Hey, if that's IMDb, I'm going to tell you, you might want to check a different source. Because, Avengers Endgame or Spider-Man No Way Home still has Keanu Reeves listed as an actor in the movie.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I think we talked about it too, where like I forget what movie it was, but it had Hugh Jackman cast in it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Spider-Man.
Was it Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Or was it Civil War?
I'll bring it back as Wolverine. Yeah, I remember that. That was funny as hell.
So, Craven the Hunter. What other Spider-Man Rogues Gallery villains do you want to see, other than the ones that we already know are coming?
Well, definitely Black Cat.
Yes.
That's not even really like it's.
I want to see Black Cat so bad.
Spider-Man could just beat her right away, but he's like, oh,
no.
I mean, you're
There's a couple of comics that I've seen that are maybe, but I mean, yeah.
The beating that I've seen him put down on her is waiting for it.
I'm not gonna. Robert Smythe with the Spider Slayers. That would be a good one.
Kingpin. Well, I mean, Kingpin's
that might come to fruition. Though.
Yeah, I think hopefully we do get that. That'd be good.
I'm pulling up a list because I know that there's a bunch that I'm not thinking of.
You can look up Vermin. That guy was a joke. He was just like a giant rat faced
Chameleon.
bad guy. Chameleon would be cool.
I also thought Chameleon was gonna be in this at some point, and he was gonna turn either into Mysterio or into somebody else. But yeah, I think Chameleon would be cool.
Even though we saw him, I mean, I want to see Scorpion.
Yeah,
Especially how he looked in the cloud. I'm like, oh, we can do that.
Yeah, when they actually showed him in his full suit.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got Jackal,
Okay.
Hydroman.
Forgot about Hydroman. That's what people thought was the giant water monster
Yeah.
in Far From Home.
Let's see. Tinkerer.
Wasn't he-
She was the one that they put in Miles' game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Living Brain.
That one I don't remember.
I don't remember that one.
That was probably gross.
Big Man. Spencer Smythe and the
That's the-
Spider
Yeah,
Slayers.
Spice, yeah.
Crime Master.
They're not even trying with those names.
Now we're just making up.
Ultimate bad guy.
Molten Man. Looter. Finisher,
Looter.
Robot Master,
See,
Man Mountain Marco,
okay.
Silvermane, Prowler.
Silvermane
Silvermane's
would be
actually
good.
pretty.
Silvermane's cool.
So is
Prowler would be
Silver
cool.
Sable too was a bad guy against him. But
Kang-
she's more like a mercenary, so it's
Yeah.
not really.
Gog,
I don't remember that.
Schemer, Kangaroo,
I
Schemer.
remember Schemer. That guy was short lived.
Hammerhead,
Hammerhead was
would be
good.
Yeah.
Man Wolf, Tarantula,
There's also who was the guy with the.
Human Fly,
That one's funny as hell.
So,
He was actually
Ant-Man?
just a human fly. He's like that bad guy you fight in the old Ninja Turtles game.
Sick.
Oh, okay.
Willow the Wisp, Calypso,
Mm-hmm.
Rose, Alistair Smythe, Slide, Sticks and Stone. I don't remember Sticks and Stone.
That's a Newfound Glory album.
See, I don't know. I feel like half these I'm never.
Yeah.
Let's see, Mr. Negative,
Yeah.
Oh,
Overdrive,
Arthur Lee, whatever his name is.
Massacre.
Massacre was one of the
Okay,
singles,
now it
wasn't
sounds like you're talking about hardcore bands. Like, where are we going here?
Pandemania,
See, that's hardcore.
Regent, and Kindred.
It was all like metal band.
Yeah, dude.
Let's see, Carry On,
Basically, we're gonna get excited for what we've been seeing.
Yeah.
Rhino.
Yeah, so Rhino.
Hopefully, Rhino.
Yeah, and actually, but like Rhino for real.
Like it's still Paul Giamatti though, right?
Tombstone,
Well,
That's the guy I'm thinking
Tombstone.
of, yeah.
Tombstone.
Shriek. Oh, he's on.
Shriek is a symbiote.
Shriek, yeah.
Well, and she gets a symbiote. They had her in the second Venom movie.
Yeah.
Beetle,
I
Boomerang,
remember Beetle. Beetle looks hilarious. If you look at Beetle's costume, it's so outlandish. He looks like Brack from Space Ghost.
Mephisto, of course.
He
Oh,
fights the devil. That was from One More Day, which is a
that is going
great
to be
storyline,
super good. In
which is similar to what
Doctor
this movie was
Strange.
based on.
Yeah.
There's Vermin, Doppelganger, Supercharger. Yeah, there's a few in here that are
He fights a Dodge.
Transformer. Bumblebee.
Hippo,
Come on.
He fought an animal. Someone called Peter.
Swarm,
Swarm was legit like just a swarm of
a
bees.
former Nazi beekeeper whose skeleton is surrounded by a swarm of bees.
Yeah,
Sick.
it has to be Nazi though.
Ringer,
Doesn't work anybody else.
Ringer, a supervillain who wields ring-based weapons,
Shang-Chi.
So,
It's like
Shang-Chi.
polka dot- Oh, never mind.
or Green Lantern.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, there's too much. He's got. I mean, obviously, since he's
Yeah,
been around
there's-
since like the '60s.
Yeah, a lot. Some of these are like from the early '60s, early '70s. Punisher,
Punisher would be cool.
Puma, Silver Sable,
Oh.
Kane,
Which
Kane Parker.
'94. What is it?
Remember that guy?
Oh, that's the suit I was thinking of. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, there's obviously a ton of them. And they open it up completely to be like, oh, yeah, by the way, we're going to close this off, but everybody that you believe and everybody you know exists. Because it wasn't just those main characters. Those were just the ones they focused on when they looked up to the sky.
Right.
But I do love to touch back on the Tobey Maguire one. When he's laying there, he looks up after they win. He's like, oh, my gosh, what's up with this guy? Am I dying? But he's just like, oh, I've been
was
stabbed
so
before. I'm
good.
fine.
Dude, the youth pastor line was pretty.
Oh, man. So are you just going to put it that was a youth pastor or? Oh, man. That was good seeing. And then they did the point, the meme point.
It's even better.
Yeah.
It's like
That was
they've done an interview recently where Andrew Garfield finally gets to talk about all this, and he's like, "Yeah, that line where I said I love you, it wasn't scripted. It was just me just telling them legitimately like I love them." And their reactions were serious. They're like, "Okay,
Yeah, I love that he's such a fan,
Yeah.
and which makes it like even more heartbreaking that he didn't get to finish his trilogy.
Yeah,
because people didn't like it or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for him.
I will say there's one thing I'm disappointed that we didn't see was the villains at least doing at least one like me and the boys moment, like the meme, hanging with the boys.
yeah." I thought that for sure they would give him like a good like. Remember the comic books they always do with the Avengers where it's like the one shot.
Yeah.
So all of them. I thought
The
they would
splash
have that.
page, the
Yeah.
one that you open in the middle. and it's
Exactly.
one huge
Yes.
page.
I figured they would have a scene like that where, like you said before the other guy showed up, where they were all just teaming up on Peter. And I thought that was going to happen at the beginning with the bridge when I was like, oh, he's going to take on all of them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Get his ass beat by everyone.
Yeah. Just,
Because you're not Spider-Man until you get your ass kicked by all of them. At once.
but man.
But I think we'll see that. I think we'll see that in movies moving forward because now that he's got this suit that he's sewn by himself.
Yeah.
There's no more Stark tech. There's no more any of that.
Iron
Like
Man
it's just
Jr..
Yes.
You get your ass beat. You get your suit torn up.
Yeah.
You got to make another one.
And they spent 3 movies explaining to how he's growing to be more cognizant of exactly how strong he is.
Yep.
So
Yeah, seamless. I wish Toby would have just let him stay just for a little bit longer because
yeah, see what time it is. I gotta go buy another ticket to watch this tonight.
Let's see, it's 9:30. There's got to be a 10:30 showing somewhere.
Surprised.
Hey, I'm down if you are. I'm off tomorrow.
Mike. I was trying to get Mike to do some self care today and go watch it today. So yeah, because he told me he'd only seen it once, and I was hurt by that.
I mean, that is a movie that you need to see
I just haven't had a chance to go.
multiple times.
He's a busy guy.
Yeah. You got stuff going on.
Somebody's got to edit the podcast.
Yeah. See.
Yeah. I feel bad, but then I remember the moments where I was telling Mike all the reasons why I won't do a podcast, and I was like, I don't want to do any of that stuff.
All the things that I agreed to do.
Yeah. I
It's
told
like, okay, fine.
I was being completely honest because he's only 2 years he's been asking and asking. He's like, what?
2 years in the making? Wow.
Basically, once I finally said, I'll show up to do it. That's all I have to really do.
So I said, oh, fine.
He's like,
That's
oh,
fine.
fine, I'll do it.
My original idea for this was called stereo miking, right?
I like that.
The little music term for all you music nerds out there.
There you go.
And then Mike was like, what does that mean? And I was
I just like the miking in it because. Or did you get? Oh, I don't remember the other thing I came up with. I should have texted you guys right away. It had something to do with like Mike and Mike, or it was like Mike and Ike's, but Mike and I don't remember.
Dude, Mike is like the idea guy, man. Like my goodness, like for the mental health check, you threw something out like right away.
So Mike was saying, he wants to make the mental health check his thing, and he said we should go to shows, talk to dudes in bands because we know what it's like to be on tour or something like that. So we'll do like a health check with these guys. And I was like, yeah, dude, MPHC, Mike Perez health check.
Oh, I get you the thing.
And you can use the thing.
People like
Copyright 2022,
Yeah.
Walking Blind podcast.
we found acoustics on it. Are those yours? No.
No.
I thought that was my press hardcore. Like that's all
Well,
everything.
It is. That was the joke.
That's the joke.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
the
cool.
joke, it was MPHC. It was Mike Perez hardcore, but it was an acoustic project that he did.
Guys, I love how you guys did that.
Which still pops up on my Spotify pretty regularly.
Is it now like some like Spanish?
There's a Spanish guy named Mike Perez.
yeah.
No, I still get like it never fails. Like I'll go into like a random Goldfinger playlist or like some other punk band playlist, and then halfway
one of
through it,
my
I get an
sad songs.
acoustic song like cover of Last Kiss.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
get,
That's my best. That's my best
I
song
also get
ever.
the-
It's not even mine.
What's the other one?
The best released MPHC.
There you go.
That's the one that was on the old MVR album.
Letters to No One.
That one. That's the other one that pops up frequently.
Okay, that
Yeah.
one. Oh.
The one that there's like 8 versions of.
There's 3.
Is there one with like a beat on it?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, that
Oh
one.
wait, I thought you meant like there's drums and
Yeah, there's drums. Yeah,
like a beat.
Yeah, like a Johnny. Well,
Get Martin.
yeah we'll get Martin to make the beat.
oh. Okay. I like that. That's fine.
You guys need to figure out a keytar.
Dude.
Make it like a synthwave jam.
I forget who I had this conversation with not even that long ago, but so let's say that you played in one of these bands, right? Like a synthwave band or like just a band with keyboards in general, right? Would you prefer to have a keytar or would you have your full synth set up in front of you where you could just
Synth. I started playing music on a piano.
Yeah.
I would play
Okay.
by ear, so like I'm more comfortable playing a piano after playing guitar than I am playing like a banjo or a uke or something else.
Right.
So
right. I feel
Yeah.
I feel like just keytar because just the way you can move.
Yeah. I just.
But there's something about
You can move. You can be mobile.
Yeah. I wanna walk around and I want to do this.
I'll just get the shoulder straps for the keyboard. Just little wireless mic like I'm in Hamilton and just run around.
Has that been done? I don't know of any keyboarders who just walk around with the strap.
We'll do a keyboard throw like story of the year.
Dude, the guy from Dragon Force does some pretty cool.
Oh,
He like flips his keyboard. One of them.
But he doesn't like carry, like you're talking like carry like a
Yeah.
concession stand.
yeah.
Like marching band. Like I'm again yelling peanuts.
like the Bud Light guy.
Hey,
Running around the stadium, but instead it's a keyboard, and you're just
I need that. Oh man, that would be cool.
I think we should design it.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna
Copyright
can definitely do that.
2022. Walking Blind
Swagger.
podcast.
It's gonna be one of those like Jurassic Park moments where it's like we're so preoccupied with whether or not we could, we never stop to think if we should.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do
Just like there was that era in 2010 where everybody had a keyboard player in their band, and the dude would hit like one note and it just like, a wobble, and then they just headbang while they're But you can do that.
Wait.
While you
Hey,
walk around.
that was post-hardcore. Everyone post-hardcore, they always had those crazy technical guitar lines, and then it gets to the bridge and it's just the keys.
I think the only band I've ever liked that had a keyboardist. Actually, was it a key? No, am I
Under Oath.
confusing? No,
Emery.
Emery.
Emery had a keyboard.
Oh,
Emery. I think they're.
I still don't even know what to classify Emery as a band. Like,
I don't know either,
Dude.
but I just remember seeing them in cardigans, and the dude on the keyboards was headbanging, and I was
Yes.
like, something cool about this.
Dude,
I like this.
Something I don't know.
Walls,
I don't know what it is, but like if an Emery song comes on, Martin and I, I forget the name of the song is. We'll sing it, and we both know like who's going high, who's going low. like, and we've never talked about it.
it just
Ever.
happens.
It just every
Dang.
time it comes on, we both.
Is it Walls?
This isn't how it's supposed to be, but you're so good. Yeah.
Dude, Jeremy had never heard Emery, and Carson and I were talking about them for months, right? And then finally, Carson's over at the house one day when we're doing a practice, and we go out to take a break, and I was like, put on Show Memory. So I put on Don't Bore Us, gets to the chorus, and Carson and I just do our thing, and Jeremy's sitting there watching us dance around like a bunch of idiots, and he's like, "This is the band you guys want me to listen to?" I was like, "This isn't the only song they have."
Yeah.
There's more music. Just give it a minute.
It doesn't all sound like this.
Yeah. I like
Yeah,
that.
that is kind of a weird band to try to.
It's hard to explain to
You
people.
can't pigeonhole because it's like, "Oh, you guys are posting." They're like, "No, we're not," and you got to chase them down.
Psych.
Dang. Emery.
Well, do you guys want
Adding that to the playlist.
Any closing thoughts? Any ratings? Any scale? Anything else you want to say?
13 out of 10. I loved it.
I gave it 3 Spiderman out of 3 Spiderman.
I don't. Yeah, the movie was good. I'm glad. Yeah, Mike. I really wish you could have been there. Seriously, but I think. No, seriously, I just. You saw it, so it's fine. But
You'll be there for Batman.
Yeah, you will be there for Batman. But I think,
I will be the one getting hype. In
Yes,
that one.
that's going to be a lot of fun. No, but I think. Yeah, it was just all around good. I mean, we were waiting for this movie for what, 2 years?
A long time.
Yeah.
Long time.
We've known about the production of it for 2 years, man. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Can't wait to see it again when it comes out on Blu-ray. Because I'm gonna buy it as soon
I
as
gotta
it comes
figure
out.
out when I can see it in theater again the next couple of weeks because I gotta get what you're at 5 now.
Yeah.
I gotta get 4 more in.
I'm sure there's probably like a 10.
Listen, let's see here.
I still want to end up like my sister with Titanic. I was like, how many times did you see that in the theater? She's like 12. I'm like, that is like a day and a half of your life
Yeah,
gone.
That's 3 hours. Man.
36.
This one's 2.5. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
I love how we just brought it down just barely.
Do you imagine? Like Laura's like, grab my keys walking down the night. Where you going? I'm watch Spider-Man. You've already seen it so many times. Like, I don't have a problem. I can stop when I want.
That's how my business.
But I'm still gonna.
So there's a 10:05 right here at the San Bernardino one.
Interesting.
Just saying. Interesting.
Um,
Right here at the Dino. You know what I mean?
well, I think one of the things that makes me like I love this movie a lot. Been it was so much fun, and one of the things that makes me excited is that John Watts, is his name? He's doing Fantastic Four. So
Please,
he can
I
handle.
really hope they do.
He can handle an ensemble or like a bunch
Yeah.
of actors.
Yes.
From what I understand, that's his next project. He's not doing anything else in between.
So
And that's his, from my understanding, that's his favorite comic series too.
Dang. Okay.
oh, no.
Him and Feige. Feige says Fantastic Four was like his starting point for
Okay.
Marvel.
So I had this kind of an argument. I have a bet. I didn't forget this. I had a bet with one of my old coworkers. She's one of my managers at one time. Should I blast her?
Yep.
Lauren
Yep.
Ross.
There's also a 10:30 at Harkins.
That gives us time to grab snacks.
Yeah.
We were talking about how she is basically she was saying how the Fantastic Four are just trash, and I was like, well, the movies are.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, I'm like-
I mean, yeah, and so I was like, given had Fox.
Yeah.
Had Fox really known what to do with them and stuff like that, I was like, they could arguably be probably the best movies. Like they could be probably one of the
100%.
best. Like we'd be talking about them like the way we talked about X-Men when it first came out, or what Marvel's doing now. I was like, if Marvel ever gets Fox, Fantastic Four will become like, if we thought Guardians of the Galaxy were good as far as an ensemble,
Yeah.
like
That's gonna be bomb.
the stories that are in Fantastic Four, it's just crazier. Their rogues gallery, like their villain, like Doctor Doom, which I've heard,
Oh.
One of the
Multiverse of Madness.
greatest. Huh?
I heard Multiverse of Madness maybe the first time we at least hear about him.
So, which reminds me, also speaking of Fantastic Four, I've also heard rumors that we are going to get our original Human Torch in Multiverse of Madness.
No.
That would be awesome.
That'd be even
Because
better if it's him and Michael B. Jordan. They just kind of
Oh my god.
because that the hint is in interviews. He's like, yeah, I've been doing a lot of like cameos lately, just appearances, and the idea is that we're gonna get the one big thing. I think you talked to me about it. Is that we're gonna get our OG Reed Richards.
Yeah.
in the Illuminati.
Young Gruffy, yeah. Him and Doctor Strange, the Strange Supreme, supposed to be in there. I've heard rumors that they're going to try to bring Patrick Stewart back as Charles Xavier for that.
I would lose my mind. I would lose it. I wouldn't be able to.
Dude, and the big one I heard was for Iron Man, it would be Tom Cruise.
Yeah, because of a different universe.
Which
Which, ironically enough, he was like one of the leading
okay
guys for
with.
casting.
And
okay with
dude,
him.
and you can bring all them back because I know like Patrick Stewart, he's not gonna want to keep this up. It'd be a cool cameo. Same thing with I think the guy who played Reed Richards, if he comes back as that Reed Richards, the guy from the Jessica Alba ones, and then Tom Cruise, like he's probably not gonna want to be around. So like you could have Wanda decimate them.
She's strong.
I gotta send you the leaks that I got. That's
Yeah, she could do it.
they've done test screenings of it already, and like some things have dropped out, and it's definitely bonkers, like
Yeah,
utterly
it is.
bonkers.
Oh,
Like if
well,
you
now
think
I'm
this is
excited.
crazy, what we just saw.
All right, let's stop. Let's stop this then, so we can
yeah. Let's not get. Yeah, good luck.
so that we can go home at some point.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, then that being said, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Make sure you follow us at Walking Blind Pod, Instagram, Walking Blind Podcast at gmail.com. Send in your questions, send in any concerns, any thoughts about us.
We have a link tree in our Instagram.
In our Instagram bio.
So if you've listened this far,
If you've listened to this far,
let us know which of our links.
is your favorite one. How about that?
It should be
And
one that
we
really
do have
stands
some
out.
we have some shout outs from last week we didn't record. I know Mike put out a message and a bunch of people actually hit me up thinking that I had COVID. I didn't.
I didn't either.
We
And
both tested
literally
negative for COVID.
Literally everyone in our lives around
Yeah.
us.
Everybody
Agreed.
around us was
Same.
sick. I was feeling sick, but I tested negative
Same.
for COVID, so I wasn't dying. But thank you to everybody that did reach out. We do have some shout outs though, because we did have 5 people that made it to the end of the episode last week. So we had Kristen and Andrea that made it to the end. Raccoons for life. We had 2 others that wanted to remain anonymous. So we'll give it to them. And then you had somebody that reached out
My
to you.
mom and
correct?
my dad probably. Oh, my friend Alana from Australia.
Australia. That's rad.
Nice.
That's very cool.
So thank you guys so much. So at this one, if you did make it to the end of the Spider-Man conversation, go on our link tree, and we want you guys to tell us what your favorite link is.
There's one that sticks out, and it should be the one you should.
It should be the one you tell us. So
We'll know immediately that you listened by telling us that.
It's exciting. I'm looking forward to looking at that.
But yeah, thanks for checking us out. This was episode 9.
Score.
later.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Oh yeah, I guess we should have said, "Hey, thanks, Ty."
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. Oh. Yep, I know which one's my favorite. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.